Hey, welcome back. All right, so in this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and add the sound to our door opening and closing. So go ahead and open up your blueprint, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so now that we've got the door moving, let's go ahead and add our sound. So now we're going to go back into our blueprint, and one of the things you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go into Fab, and I recommend getting this free game pack, and I'll have it available down at the bottom of the comment section here. But this free game sounds pack has some door opening and closing sounds that we're going to end up using, and as well as some other sound effects. If you haven't already done it from watching some of the previous tutorials, go ahead and go find this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sound cue. So let's go into our blueprints and go into, or actually into our content, go into our free sounds pack, and in our cues, and actually we're going to go into our waves. We're going to type in door. We're going to get a door open, a door close, and then we're going to get the creaking sound. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually make our sound cues out of those. So I'm going to go into our content folder. I'm going to right click, create a new folder, and we're going to call this sounds. And double click on that. I'm going to right click, and we're going to go into audio, and we're going to make a sound cue. And this first one is going to be called an SC underscore door open. Okay. Now we're going to double click on that. And what we're going to want to do is go back into here, and we're going to right click, and we're going to make another audio. We're going to open both these up so we can just knock this all out at once. We're going to make another sound cue. We're going to do SC underscore door close. And we're going to double click and open that one as well. Okay, now go back to the door open. We're going to go into our content drawer, go back to content, and we're going to find our door open. Actually, it's not called door open yet, is it? All right, so we're going to do our door open here, and we also want the wood door creak. So we're going to select this one, and we're going to hold the control button and select that one. We're going to drag them both up into the scene. Okay, so we got our door open and our door creak. We're going to connect these using a concatenator. Okay, and what this does is it will play child noises sequentially. So when I plug this one in, we're going to get the door open sound, the little clicking noise, and then we're going to get the creaking sound. And then we're going to do the output. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Okay. Hopefully you heard that. Let me just make sure I've got that set open, and I do not. So let's go ahead and try that again. So if I hit the play cue sound, that's the sound we're going to want to go for. Now I'm going to save it, and we're going to go to door close. And then back into here, I'm going to want to select door close and also wood creak. I'm going to drag these in and drop them. And this time we're going to do it in reverse. We're going to get the creaky sound. We're going to connect that up to this concatenator, however you say that. Anyway, and then we're going to do the output. And we're going to plug in the output and hit play cue. And that's what we should have. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save it. Go back into my door. Right click, and we're going to go ahead and get play sound at location. Play sound at location, and we're going to duplicate that. So we have two of them in here because we're going to do an open and we're going to do a close, and I'm going to set them like this. And then I'm going to put them a little ways away, and we're going to connect them, and I'm going to show you why we're going to do some of the other things we're going to do. Now we need a location that we're actually going to set this sound up at. And first, let's go ahead and find our door sounds. So I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to type in SC underscore door, and I want the door opening sound We'll put that up there. And then down here, I'm going to type in SC underscore, and I want door closing sound for this one. So door close, door open. And then we're going to need the location of the door. So we have this SM door. We can drag this out here, and we can go ahead and get its world location. So we can get where this actual asset is located in the world. Then we can just plug this in here and here. Something like that. I'm going to drag it a little bit further over. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and for the play sound at location door opening, now they're going to crisscross, and you'll see why we did this later. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this one down here. Compile and save it. Go back to the sandbox. I'm going to hit play. All right, terrible, right? We don't really want it to sound like that. So we're going to have to do a couple of things to make sure that it doesn't try to repeat all the sounds all at the same time. And if we go to our blueprint, drag it off right here, and I expand this just a little bit so we can kind of see what's happening in this process. I go back to sandbox and I hit play. Okay, when I move up to the door, see that it's running through there, and then it's also trying to close it at the same time. And that just really, really breaks the stuff. So the way we're going to fix that is we're going to use a do once, okay? So for here, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these. Hold the Alt button and disconnect. I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a do once. And I'm going to select the do once. And I'm going to duplicate it and put it down here as well. And I'm going to connect it in. So that it only plays it one time when this happens. And then if we connect it this way, and again this way, compile it. Now if we go back in and I hit play, it's not going to work so well, but it'll work a little better. Sounds right. We're not trying to play it multiple times over the top of itself. But it did do the open and it did do the close without doing a check. It just automatically did both. Because once it finished, so if we take a look back here, once it finishes, then it will do the door close sound. So there's nothing telling it, hey, don't do the door sound yet, right? So we need to put something in to keep this from happening until we're ready for it to happen. The way we can do that is, again, remember we made this Boolean down here called is door open. And so we're going to go ahead and use that. So we're going to pull the is door open out, and we're going to get is door open. We're going to use a branch from the output here. We're going to plug this in here. Okay. Now, we don't really want the sound to play after the door closes, right? After the door is finished. We don't want this to work. What we do want, though, is it to play after we do a check, right? So when we're closing our door, we want it to choose which direction to go. So right now, we want this to happen if the door is open. We want to play the opening sound, and if it's going to close, we want it to play the close sound. Okay, and we're going to disconnect this. We're going to go ahead and compile and save it. Now let's see how that works. So we got just the opening sound, and we didn't get the door closing sound. Now if I leave, we got the door closing sound. But it only does it the first time. So when we added in the do once, basically what that's doing is it's saying, hey, only play this one time. If you notice on this node, though, we do have this option to do a reset right here. So the way we can do the reset is we can go ahead and connect this in, and once we're finished, we can reset the door open sound. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how that works. But so the door opening sound worked just fine, but the door closing sound does not work. Now the problem is we can't just do that because we only have one output. It either goes to here or it goes to here. So we do have a node that allows us to do things in sequence. It's called sequence, weirdly enough. Okay, and now I can plug in this one to here, and then I can take this one and plug it in down here, and we can reset it at the same time. All right, so let's go ahead and compile and see how this works. Oh, I see what I did. Didn't plug it in the reset. I plugged it into the top up there. No wonder why I was acting weird. Oops. Let's try that again. I can tell we don't have a collider hooked up to that. Can I just run right through it? Oh, yeah. Okay, so one of the things that we've noticed is that, unfortunately, our door doesn't seem to have any collision to it. So if I go here, I hit play, and I go over here and run through this door, notice I can just pass right through it. So an easy way to fix this is if we select the door and we go to selection mode and go into modeling, we can go ahead and go down here to attributes, and we can do mesh to collision, and then we can hit accept. And now if I hit play, I can no longer pass through that door. And hopefully the same is true for this door. Okay, so no longer pass through that door. Okay, so we got one little tiny more thing to fix. And what I've noticed is that if I hit play and I roll to the door and I roll out of the box and then back into the trigger, you get the opening sound, and the door's not moving. So what's happening is right here in this logic. Okay, when we're going through, we're just automatically resetting it, both of these right here, which allows this sound to play again before we're actually ready for it to play. So We're doing a check to see if the door is open to play this sound, and if it's false, we're going to play this sound. But we also need to stop it from playing this sound until we're ready to reset it. So we only want to play it once until we've reset it by having the door close. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put in another branch right here. So if I right click and type in branch, and you know what? Actually, we'll just use this one right here. Do a Control D and plug this one in here because we're just going to check to see if the door is open, and if it is not, so when the door closes, this will happen and this will reset. So when the door is closed, then we're ready to play the opening sound again. So we hit compile and go back here and I hit play. If I move up to the door and I go all the way through, that's the way it's supposed to work. Now let's just double check. If I go up to the door and I move out of this and the door is still open, I go back into the box, it shouldn't play. And it doesn't. Now when I leave, it plays the right sound. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you learned a lot from being able to get the sounds added in. Our next tutorial, we're going to go ahead and build on this. We're going to make a double door and make it so that both doors open at the same time. And we're going to end up just using the same sounds that we're using and everything like that. So again, hopefully if you liked the tutorial, please hit the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with these tutorials. Thanks for playing. I'll see you next time.